Well, Darden's competitive advantage comes from the differentiation it operates in its supply chain, which means that it differentiates processes instead of products. Indeed, it seeks value at each step of the supply chain, and all the processes are well thought. In practice, it means that Darden has an effective supplier network and performing distribution and transportation systems in the US. It is very important in that business because seafood doesn't have long life cycle, so the whole supply chain must be very reactive. It shows that Darden knows well its business and knows what it has to do to be performing. Besides, Darden focuses on its core competences and it no longer operates activities that are time and money consuming, so it helps to compete because the margins are increased. To do so, Darden practices outsourcing. It does not hesitate to give up some activities, which is interesting to provide a competitive advantage. And finally, the quality of the products is very important to Darden, which attracts consumer and increases the demand. And it's also another way to compete against the restaurant chains in the US. To do so, Darden works with long-time suppliers, which guarantees access of good products during the whole year, and it can lead to price reductions, increased margins, and finally compete, which is interesting. And regarding the location or nationality of the suppliers, we think that it's interesting to work with international suppliers, but also to have many of them because it mitigates the risks and it prevents any stop in the supply chain. Because the more suppliers there are, the easier it is to react to a failure of one of them. Also, working with international suppliers helps to have products during the whole year without any season or whatever problem. And finally, it's also interesting to work with international suppliers because generally they are cheaper than the US ones and it increases margins, which eventually helps to compete.